What's up, everybody? It is Aaron here with the Rookie Geek coming at you with another lightsaber review. This one is actually one I'm really excited about. It took a minute to get here, but I know that that it's been minuscule in comparison to what a lot of people have dealt with. It did get shipped from China, so that probably helped or didn't help. So what we are looking at today is another Darkwolf Sabers. I have done a review on Darkwolf in the past. My Darth Maul staff back here was actually from Darkwolf. It was one of my first sabers. It was actually my first staff as well. So I've been keeping an eye on them and just waiting for something that catches my eye. And up to this point, when I have seen this particular hilt in LGT stores, it was accurate from the switch up. So from the mid part of the saber hilt all the way to the emitter was correct. Everything below that was incorrect, and I think that we can all agree, besides the emitter, it's the most signature part of this piece. So what we're looking at here is the broken V2 from Darkwolf Sabers. And it is a replica saber of Cal Kestis from Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order is a great game. If you're a gamer out there and you haven't played it, I highly suggest it. It is canon within Star Wars, and it's a great story as well. Gameplay is really fun. So, I went ahead, and anymore, I really can't do anything besides Neopixel just because I feel like it's just leaps and bounds ahead of your basic RGB. Nothing against them. I still have plenty of RGBs, and I love using my RGBs for dueling. I don't like risking it so much with my Neopixels. So what we got here, this is the part that I was talking about. Was not typically in this model, but I think that was just the V1. So the V2 actually has the broken pommel at the end. Now, I'm fairly certain you can get the connector to actually get two of these and make it a staff, but I was okay with just the one. So we come up. I think most people's favorite part about this hilt is the emitter itself. The two shields on either side really just sets off the whole thing, and especially when the thing's ignited, it really just does well. So very basic, just the single button here. This button does move. I just haven't seen that it actually does anything yet. So probably just there as an aesthetic, which is fine. Now this, I wanted to get at you because I feel like there's been a couple of sabers I've done where I had already customized them. So you really didn't get the basic look of it. So this is very basic. It's very clean. There's just nothing to it, but anybody that's familiar with this, and even if you're not, just from this broken pommel, you can tell it's a lightsaber that's really seen a lot of battle. It's seen some wear and tear. So I will be doing a weathering. I'll probably do a video on that as well. So if you're interested in learning how to weather, then you can learn with me. So with this, I mean, it is a Proffie Neopixel, so you can program the soundboard with the micro SD that is attached. I am not one of the people that really wants to tackle that just yet. I'm more interested in building my collection than actually, modifying a lot of the things. I have so many different customizations that I want to get to. But again, it's just a matter of collection right now. So we'll go ahead and look at then, since I haven't wanted to program anything, we'll look at all the different sound fonts that come preloaded onto this. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll shut off the lights and we'll give it a little look-see. Now that we've gotten a look at the hilt a bit. Okay, so we'll start off. I set it on the Cal Kestis because that did come standard, and I just figured it's probably the good one to start with. Now, one con to this. I've complained that a couple of my lightsabers are too loud. This one I feel like is too low. Now, can you not hear it? No. You can hear it just fine. But comparison to a couple other sabers that I have, the volume is actually fairly low. But definitely good enough. So then we'll move on. It's a very basic system. Again, this will come with instructions just like anything else does. But let's go ahead and move on to another one. You just hold it down for 1 second, and it changes it to the next one. All right. Yeah, see the emitter coming down. I mean, I just love that. I think it looks beautiful. Now, if you're not familiar with Neopixel, just to give you a quick rundown here, the difference is with your standard RGB soundboard, it's just everything's in the hilt in one long chassis. So you have an LED, you have the soundboard itself, the battery, and the speaker all attached to one thing. Really efficient and great, but it doesn't give you this shooting up the blade effect that you would want. It also doesn't really give you anything in the options of customizing your actual blade effects, in the sense that I've seen people do things that look really realistic on flames and things like that. But we'll move on. Do a few of these. So Revan sound font. Now I changed this to blue. You hold the button while holding it down, and then you flick it. And I am having a hard time figuring that out. I mean, keep in mind, I literally just got this, so I haven't really had a chance to play with all of the features. But for the most part, I've seen everything it can do. So let's move on. The dark side. Another blue here. Now, again, every sound font you can change the color of the blade. Wouldn't be much of an upgrade from RGB if you couldn't change the color. Spectrum. So this is the Spectrum one. So this has been what I've seen it happens on almost every Neopixel that I've seen, where essentially you just have every color spectrum into a rainbow up and down the blade, which is always fun. It's a neat feature. This is the Defiance, standard with the white blade. Now, this hilt actually is really nice for spinning. I wasn't too sure. I did scrape myself a bit when I first got it with that, but I don't think that it'll happen often, because I've given this thing quite a few spins. Hello there. Now, this right here, I could not for the life of me figure out what that meant. I changed over to the sound font, and it wouldn't turn on, and it just had this here. Now, some of you may be familiar with this. I have not seen this on any of my other Neopixels. So this is actually indicating battery life. And I figured this out after I had fully charged it, and then when I got to the sound font, or to this font on the board, and it was green at the tip instead of this blue. And then I've also noticed how it continues to go down the more I use it. So that's actually pretty cool. Because I've seen a lot of people don't, really know, and you do with a lot of sabers, you have to play the guessing game on how much battery life you actually have. So that's actually pretty cool. We'll move on to the Kylo Ren. Now, I feel like a lot of the blade effects sometimes don't come through that well, but pretty well from what I can see. Oh. Okay, so we'll go on. See, and that's really what the difference is with Neopixel for sure, is the brightness level, as well as the different blade effects and the shooting up from the hilt, which I think is the thing that we want the most. You want to get rid of. Now here's the Ray. I really like how Ray starts. You'll notice there's a little bit of a green that pops up here, and then it shoots. Cool, right? Really flows with her saber that she makes at the end of Rise of Skywalker. The Dark Sword. This is the Dark Sword. Now this one, when I saw it, I was like, man, it's a good thing I don't have epilepsy, because it would have given me a seizure. Yeah, the Dark Saber is always a cool font. Okay. Ascension. This is the green. As far as I can tell, it really does sound like Luke's. So I wanna assume that it is Luke's. Okay, do another one. Got Darth Maul's here. I mean, I really just feel like this emitter looks good no matter what blade color you put on it. It really is just a beautiful, beautiful hilt altogether, and I can't wait to really do some weathering on this. It's gonna look so good once it's done. So this is a character from Fallen Order. It was a Jedi that was lost on Dathomir, which is a very dark planet. And he kind of just went over to the dark side, as they are wont to do. But I really like his hilts. If I could ever find his hilts, I would get those in a second. Not really a Sith guy, but, you know, I can appreciate a beautiful hilt wherever it comes from. Alright. I think the blue really does look sick right there. It's awesome. Alright. Well, we will turn these lights back on. Yeah. And we'll check this out one more time. Just give you a good detailed look. So from what I can tell, these will actually come off. I think these will be easy enough to come off because everything else can twist apart. So I would imagine it wouldn't be that hard. But then we'll go down the back here. And then I just really love all the cutting work. The attention to detail on the pommel here really sells the whole thing for me. And this pommel right here, this is the pommel. It does unscrew, so you can get into everything that way. But I prefer to kind of go off and take this right here. And that way we can get right into the battery. Now, I want to talk about two things with this saber. Now, and these things going forward, I don't know if these things are standard, but I've ordered from Darkwolf a couple times now, and I've never gotten this. But both of my sabers that I ordered from them actually shipped out from New York, whereas this one shipped out from China. So I'm assuming he didn't have a ready to sell in a store. But so it shows up. My box is on the porch, and I go out there and I say, or I pick it up and I'm like, man, this thing is way heavier than what I'm used to. Because usually it's just it's all wrapped in there really nicely and secure, but it's just a saber in a box wrapped in plastic. It's not. I mean, there's nothing more to it than that. So I open this thing up and I get this. My saber was inside of this case that has locks on it and everything else. It's pretty awesome. Go ahead and do that. So yeah, all that. And this was, I didn't order this. I didn't pay for this. This didn't, and it just, yeah, I have no idea how it ended up getting here. But that is, to me, that's amazing. I'm not saying by any means that you're going to end up with one of these, but it is really cool, and I'm going to treasure it forever. The other thing that I find to be really interesting here was the charger. Now, every saber comes with a charging cable, but I will say, with my other Neopixels, if I need to charge it, I really just don't like charging with the actual micro USB that's in it. I like taking the battery out of it and then using an external charger for that. So this one actually came with an external charger. So, this pops right down, you wedge the battery in, it charges it. It also has an indicator right here at the top. I don't know if you can see that really, but yeah, starts off red and then it goes to green. Little things like that really just make me happy. But I gotta say that case is just absolutely ridiculous. And I really enjoyed getting that surprise. So one more time on the hilt here, guys. Yeah, this is the Broken Order The V2 from Darkwolf Sabers Proffie Neopixel. Going forward, if you do want Proffie Neopixels, the Proffie boards are having an issue just the way that every other place is having an issue with a shortage on parts. It isn't just the lightsaber community; it's every single industry that's really affected by it. Any industry that uses computer boards. So keep that in mind. But this I cannot be happier about, guys. 10 out of 10 on this. As soon as I get some weathering, it'll be one of my favorite hilts. All right, guys. Well, I am Aaron with the Rookie Geek. This has been another lightsaber review, and I will see you guys next time.